Today I want to discuss something that I guess will make most of you surprised. I want to discuss about how to lose the money. And yeah, as I said before, I am guessing that most of you guys are surprised because, first of all, as you know, our podcast, Go Global Asia, is focused on delivering high value. And telling you how to lose the money, it's not something high value you might think. Second, uh, losing money is relatively easy. I guess everybody know how to do it. But before you switch off this podcast, before you move on to your favorite song or whatever you want to do, I asking you to stay with me 3 minutes and listen this intro because I am very sure that today podcast, if you listen this and apply, it can help you the same as help my client actually save a lot of money, save a lot of time, and save a lot of embarrassment. So my promise was made, and now let's get into it. My name is Adam Skoneczny, and you are listening to Go Global Asia podcast. I have been living in Asia for the past 8 years, and as the CEO of EVIT organization, I spent the last 6 years helping Asian IT companies expand into the Western market by building professional sales team and sales process. In this podcast, I am discussing everything related to sales in IT industry as well as collaboration with Western clients. I would like to start today's podcast with borrowing the what we call mental model and introducing this mental model to you. The mental model, what I am talking about, it's called inversion thinking, and that Charlie Munger, he is the person who created this model, who is the person I learned from. I'm not sure if he is the one who created, but I learned from him. Charlie Munger, it's a business. It was the business partner of the very famous investor Warren Buffett, and they both built their company, which is one of the best investment company in the world, Berkshire Hathaway. And unfortunately, Charlie Munger is not with us anymore. He died this year, 2024. It's a big loss. However, his lessons and his wise advice, they still staying with us, and I guess it will stay for a very long time. So let me start with inversion thinking, what it is. And this is actually the way, and this is and inversion thinking is the reason why I named this podcast the 3 best ways to lose the money. So basically, what is inversion thinking? It's think about all bad things that you can do for your business that will guarantee you losing money or losing in the game of the business. And this is not only mental model that apply to the business. You can use this mental model for, let's say, your marriage. Think about the 5 things that will, if you make them, they will guarantee you that you will lose your partner, wife, and the girlfriend. And what you do, you actually doing opposite. So why this kind of thinking is necessary, and why this mental model is good? The reason is quite simple and straightforward. So we as a human, we have a tendency to be very good at coming out with some negative stuff and the bad stuff. So basically, in my opinion, I'm not sure is this supported by any research, but in my opinion, and from what I know, we have this tendency to come out with the pessimistic scenario, bad scenario, the worst case scenario, very good because our survival mechanism. So our brain is need to keep us alive, and that's why our brain will keep looking for those bad things around. So how we apply this to the business? What we can do instead of sitting and saying, "Oh, how to create great strategy, how to go global, what I need to do," those questions they might make you feel overwhelmed and might be very difficult to answer. So what we need to do, we need to ask ourselves what I would have to do to make sure that I will fail with my Go Global project. And this is what I did. This is what I did, first of all. And the second thing, what I did, I observed my client who made those mistakes already, who made those mistakes, and then they come back to us to help them fix it. So actually, this is the main so actually, this is the subject of today's podcast. This is what we will be talking about, and this is what we will get deeper into it. Before I share with you three main ways how to lose money and what to do to avoid them, of course, I also want to share one more thing. We need to figure out, first of all, before the part I am talking about Charlie Munger. So this part, what I say now, it should go directly into after intro. Why the businesses want to go global? Why companies want to develop on the Western markets? And there are 100 answers for these questions. Some of my clients, they say they want to diversify risk. They want to have the opportunity to work with Western clients. They want to be safer working in the different countries and have a cash flow from other countries. They want to have a basket with the other currencies as well. They want to have an experience working with the different market. They want to conquer different market. They want to have a better IPO. Many reasons. But to simplify this, we can say one thing. We go global, we develop business because we want to make money. We want to have a more cash flow. And you can kill me for what I say. Obviously, I don't mean it, but I guess I might get a little bit hate for what I will say now. But if you ask me what is the purpose of the business, I will tell you the purpose number one of the business is to make money. And obviously, there are many other purposes, such as adding value, solving the problem, creating some new tools, technologies that will make human life easier, that are no safe environment, and things like that. That's all true. However, those businesses without money, they have no right to existence. Meaning, without money, we will not be able to hire people, we will not be able to conduct research and development, we will not be able to buy food for employees, or employees, they will not be able to buy food for themselves. And many other kind of common sense reason, I would say, that the reason number one for the business is to make money. So if we already, I hope we already got agreement on this part. So let me discuss about the second thing. What is the main purpose of going global? Why the IT companies from Asia, they want to go global? And here also I can hear many different opinions. We want to diversify portfolio, we want to be safer, we want to remove the risk, be independent of one country, we want to give the experience for our team members to work in the other market, we want to have another market to have a bigger valuation IPO, many more. However, probably you already know, if I give a one reason why we go global, it's because we want to make more money. And the subject and the discussion today, it will be how to lose money, but I will put here for you. And the subject of today's podcast is three ways how to lose money. But what I will do, I will use inversion thinking to go at those three reasons and then turn them into three ways how we can secure ourselves and make sure that we are making money when we go global. So let me get into it. Let me get to the number one, the biggest mistakes that the company are doing and how to fix it. From my observation, biggest mistakes that the IT companies doing who want to go global, they are hiring sales director who has no experience with a go global projects. And I can tell you why they're doing this, because actually this is the reason why they're doing this. It's very understandable, if I can say it like that, or I just made up this word, but I understand them completely why they're doing this. So they hire a sales director because they want to have internal team that will help them develop global, and later on will expand to other markets. So let's say the director there is there, and he help to expand to one market, and then he will use his strategy technique to go another market, things like that. And this director is belong to the company. He is internal responsible, and he will stay with the company to help grow. And this is really good reason to do so. However, the problem what I am noticing is that companies hiring sales director or sales manager or business development executive, they promoting him for the new job as a sales manager or sales director. However, this person has no experience with the global expansion. And when I say no experience, I don't mean this person was part of the project with other sales directors and observing how the other sales directors help create and execute strategy for the global expansion. I don't mean that. I mean, if we hiring the director for the global expansion, this is must be the person who creates strategy, who help execute the strategy, who has hands-on experience. I don't mean the business development executive who experience, who saw how the sales director doing the global expansion. And this is one of the biggest challenge for IT companies, in my opinion. As you probably know, I don't have a very good statistic on that, and I didn't see any paper, but huge majority of the owners of IT companies, they are technical guys or ladies, most of these guys, but they do not have much experience with the sales. On the top of that, they have even less experience on hiring good sales. So when they sit down, let's say with business development executive who is applying to their company to become manager or director responsible for global expansion, for them it's really difficult. It's pretty difficult for them to figure out if this person will be good or not. And unfortunately, in most of the cases, this will be the bad decision for the business. I saw this happening many times. I saw it. I saw my clients losing 300, $400,000. But except losing money, they lost 1 year, 2 years. They lose competitive advantage. They lose positioning against their competition. Those kind of failure, hiring the external person who's supposed to become employee and supposed to help us with global expansion, and hiring those guys without experience, this is the mistake number one. And what is the solution for this mistake? In my opinion, there are two solutions. First of all, when you're hiring, you make sure you hire the right person. And as I said to you, we need to check out if the person has hands-on experience creating the strategy and executing for global expansion. That's number one. How to hire this person, it's actually the subject for a completely different podcast. But you can come to our organization as well. We actually now implementing new service to helping hiring the sales executive. And what is different between us and IT companies is basically consultants, sales consultants helping hire the executive, sales executive for your company. And the second thing, you can collaborate with a consulting firm that will help you on the very early stage to create strategy, create the plan, create the team structure that you need, and then later on, even they can help you hire those kind of teams. So this is a little bit more safe. I will be very honest with you. It's not that I am telling you that because we providing this kind of service, my organization, but why is safer? When you engaging with consulting, they will create for you this project faster. They will develop for you those projects much faster than actually when the sales director will come over. Sales director will come over, he will focus on the hiring first, onboarding 2 months, creating relationship with other department. Then he start creating strategy. Before he will put to the test strategy, we're talking about minimum half a year. So But with the consulting firm, it can take you maybe 3 months. On the top of that, consulting firm you can give you guarantees for their services. So that's why I'm saying it's safer. And the most important actually point, the consulting, good consulting firm, they did that before many times. So they know what they're doing. They have a formula that it can help you save a lot of money and the most important, remove the risk. So this is the point number one. Let me move to point number two. Point number two is very important and quite funny also. Why I say funny? Because it's very obvious. However, it's still one of the most and the biggest mistakes. So point number two, what I am calling is going halfway. When I say going halfway, it's when the company kind of decide to go global, but they are not really into it 100%. What I mean, so let's say have their sales team that working for internal market wherever you are. Let's say you India, Indonesia, wherever, Malaysia, Vietnam, and they decide that okay, 10% now effort from this department will start doing some activities for global expansion, such as lead generation and finding the client. Maybe another even more crazy idea would be that we send them to expos and they will be discussing with the client on the trade show and expo and then finding client and selling our services. This is never working. Seriously, I never see this thing ever work. As my friends say, you cannot be half pregnant. Either you decide to be pregnant or not. And same is with the global expansion. Either you go full for it or you don't go for it at all. And to be honest with you, I could talk about this now for 20 minutes, but I think there is no point because I guess most of the people understand this and know that if you try to go halfway because you want to save money, you want to save time, you don't want to take risk, you actually taking much more risk, you will waste much more time and much more money. So learn from my client experience, learn from our experience, from our observation, and do not do this mistake. If you want to go for global expansion, go fully for it. And the last point I want to share is point number three, starting without specific plan and strategy. I saw this many times where the founders of the company, they got one deal from the, let's say, US market because they have some friend there and the project going very well. And then they said, okay, let's develop to US market. Yes. And they work with their friend a little bit, they get more deals. Let's say they have 3 clients from their network, they decide to hire some sales team or decide to move the sales from one market to another, which is even more crazy idea, but that's his situation is happening. And then after 6 months, 9 months, they see that if the leads they're not coming from our personal network, if they're not coming from our client, we cannot get any traction from our sales team. And the 99% cases here is that the sales team has no plan, has no strategy, they have no direction. They got 3 clients from the network of the founders, and that's it. They don't know what is the sales channel. They don't know what is the ICP. They don't know what service they should supposed to offer. They have no market research. How they supposed to develop this market? If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have something what we call phase one, where we create an initial plan, and I am saying here on the purpose initial plan because you creating your plan first. It's initial plan. It's assumption. Then you move into phase number two when you testing those assumptions. And then in phase number three, you have all assumption tested. You know who is the client. You know who is the market. You know how you reach them. You know what you say to them. You know everything. And then you scale. This is how you do it. If you go to the market because friend you recommend you the client, you will see after few months your source of the leads start drain out, especially in the challenging market conditions. If there is the downturn in the market, It will be very challenging. So, how can you avoid this? Basically, start with the plan. Make sure you have a specific plan, and I highly recommend it to have a phases. Um, there is no chance, to be honest with you, there is no chance from my experience that you will create first plan and it will be perfect plan. And second thing, there is no one plan for all companies in the world. What I mean here is there is no same formula for everyone. That each company is different and there is different formula. If there would be one formula for every company, then every company would be size of Microsoft. So you need to figure out phase number one, figure out your initial plan and assumptions. Phase number two, test it. Phase number three, scale it. And by creating very specific plan regarding your ICP, outreach, marketing, everything, then you can proceed safely, and then your team can have a direction, and then you can organically find a client from outbound, inbound, not only from the founder personal network. So that's it. The three main, I will summarize this for you again. Three main ways I finding the companies doing to lose the money is hiring director or hiring sales manager without previous hands-on experience with the global expansion projects. Second, going halfway or being half pregnant. I love this quote of my friend. Being half pregnant. We cannot be half pregnant. We cannot go halfway. Either we do it or we don't do it. And if we do it full throttle. And then third one, starting without plan. We need to have a plan. We shouldn't be starting without plan. So action plan. If you want to go global, think about these 3 points and think if your initial strategy eliminated those three risky ways to lose the money. Second thing, if you are already going global and you notice that you actually made one of these mistakes, as soon as possible, fix it. And even if that means for you exiting and completely stopping your project, then do it and start from the beginning in the right way. Because I am this is 99% because you have a very, very high possibility that your project will not proceed successfully. So that's it. I hope our podcast. So that's it. As usually, I hope this podcast was filling in. So that's it for today podcast. As usually, I was trying to put as much as valuable information for you, as much as possible our experience, and as much as possible action plans for you to make sure that the Go Global project will be successful for you. Thank you for listening, Go Global Asia, and I see you in the next episode.